All right, folks, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I guess it depends on where you're joining us from around this big blue marble. Let's go ahead and get airborne. Welcome aboard for our full throttle session one, man. This is going to be a good time. We have 8 sessions to knock out in our industry leading full throttle program, and it's going to be awesome. Hopefully, you have a frosty beverage of your choice because we do full throttle after the market closes. Don't have to worry about any of the distractions, anything like that. So make sure you silence your electronic nicotine because we're gonna have some fun. Let's talk through some administrative items first before we get into it. Right now, you're in what we call GoToWebinar. It's the platform that we use in our training and our live trade briefs to familiarize you with that. Over to your right is kind of your little control panel over there. There should be a little questions box over there. If we have more than 200 people, we have to be in GoToWebinar, which means you guys can't see each other's chat, which is kind of a pain because then I have to read everything. So we'll get a sense of how many numbers we have tonight, and maybe Thursday night we'll be over and go to training so you all can interact back and forth and get to meet each other and stuff like that. It's the same link that you got in the room tonight for Thursday night as well. I think it's the same link for all 8 sessions. So you don't have to email support, hey, are you sending me the link? I think it gets sent out 2 hours prior and then an hour prior as well. Do me a favor, start, not a shameless plug, but throughout the day, please make sure you're following, or you at least like, or however you do it, the Top Gun Options Facebook page. Throughout the day, I am just posting a ton of content on this page. Some of it related to the market, some of it not. But this is where I tend to post a lot of my stuff. So do me a favor. I just put it in the chat box, the link for our Facebook page. Make sure you click like and start following that. I've already rolled out with the about 20 posts about Kamala. Samuel, everything is recorded. Everything's recorded here at Top Gun Options, and I'll show you where the member page is in a couple minutes here. But let me finish up with the social media brief. Oh, and while I'm over here, this won't be a shameless plug either. Do me a favor and head here right now. I literally just got off a call with my techies, and really weird. They're like, at 7 o'clock tonight, the website will go live. I launched a foundation recently called Top Gun Fighter Foundation to try and prevent in any way possible veteran suicide. It's a disgrace. 22 veterans on average kill themselves. It's almost a veteran an hour today. Folks, every day. And that data, which is a disgrace that coming out of the VA, is 3 years old, 2 or 3 years old. So just imagine what's going on with the COVID. So we're airborne. We're a 501c3. We're a charity, and I'm gonna do all I can to pitch into the fight here. Okay, last last social media thing I want you to follow is our excuse me, our YouTube channel here, the Top Gun Options YouTube channel, because I post a lot of content on here as well. So there's the foundation, and there is the YouTube channel. Obviously, all this stuff that you're going to get will be posted on the member page, okay? And we'll get to that in a second. Okay. Facebook, yeah, well, not that you're really super interested in it. You could follow me on Instagram. What is it? There you go. Instagram.com/ematthewbuckley. So that's a way to hang out and follow your instructor. And right there. Okay, now let me give you Lee, that is great. My brother, who was like a twin, 10 months older, committed suicide at age 32. I'm very sorry to hear that, Lee. Many years ago, he was manic depressive. We had no idea he was just in a manic state. Never saw him depressed. Lee, unfortunately, veterans do a pretty damn good job of hiding their hurt. My motto, just so you guys know, is if you're ever going to say thank you to your service for somebody, do me a favor and put a comma at the end of that sentence and say, can I help? Do you need anything? Because this thank you for your service, it's a great, you know, expression. Put a comma on the end of it. All right, let's get going. Replay page. Here's where you can find all the replays from this training, world-class training, just ask me, that you're going to get. So here's the home page right here, folks. Underneath member content, see that you just kind of hover over this drop down, you click on full throttle right there, and you will see all the replays. This is where tonight's replay is, okay? Here's what you need to do, though. You already have homework. What? This webinar just started, man. I didn't even take a sip of my wine yet, and you get in homework. I am giving you homework. Look at this. You, everybody, need to watch the previous full throttle sessions. There's been some great students. One of my teachers who hopefully is watching right now, the beautiful and lovely Nicole Fox. She's actually my yoga instructor. She's watched like back to 2015. That's a smart person, folks, because to be honest with you, a covered call, an iron condor, a bearish spread was the same in 1983 that it is today. What changes is kind of what's going on at that time. It's funny looking at memory lane here. Oh, look at this one. This double vertical session on March 12th. There's a picture of Trump at Mar-a-Lago with the president of Brazil and his COVID positive press secretary. So a little trip down memory lane. Look at this, session 6, bullish spreads, the last time we did full throttle. There's Miami Beach. You haven't seen that? Well, maybe you have seen that picture of Miami Beach recently. My point being is this. Before we do one of these briefs, go watch an old one, and you'll get smart. You will pick up little nuanced things. I have people that have been here at Top Gun Options for 10 years and literally come to every one of these quarterly full throttle training sessions, and they're like, dude, I learned more this time, or I picked up a couple new things, because the market changes. Things change in the markets, and my training on these subjects change as well. So that's where you find the replay. So after tonight, finish my glass of wine. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes for the replay to render, and then I post it up on the member page here. Final thing I'm going to show you on the web page for all of you who are, because a lot of you have just signed up for the full throttle 8 sessions here and aren't in any of our live trade briefs. We also have a forum that's called the Ready Room. So you click on that right there. This is where you can ask questions. Hey, what the hell, Iron Condor, I have a question about this, or look at all the threads in here. Chart lines, content questions, covered call strategy, all sorts of stuff. So it's a very active forum where the members can get in here and interact with each other. Jethro, my cousin Sarah, also a vet, took her own life. It's devastating. Thank you for this foundation. You bet, Jethro. I've lost a lot of yeah. It's tough. So I'm gonna do my best. Okay. So that's kind of the website real quick. What other administrative items? Replay page we covered. So full throttle training. Does everybody have a brokerage account? Is everybody up and running somewhere? If not, you can go to etrade.com/topgun. And I forget what if you go through that link, you'll get a good deal there. So everybody give me a vertical head nod that you all have a brokerage account and you're up and running. Does everybody, good, okay. Does everybody have options approval? Because if not, you might have to go back to the compliance folks. You might have to pick up the phone and call whoever you're trading with and say, hey, I'm going through this world-class training at Top Gun Options, and I need to get options approval. So I'm not telling you to lie, but when they say, okay, well, how many years options trading experience do you have? Over to you. And I'll leave it at that. But this full throttle training, we're going to do 8 sessions every Tuesday and Thursday night for the next 4 weeks. We're going to do this next quarter, which is going to be ginormous. October, November, and December this year are going to be insane with the election and a lot of stuff going on. So we do this 4 times a year. Watch the replays. You're going to hear me say this 50 times. One of the reasons I do full throttle training at night, aside from having Peanut Grizio, is in the live trade briefs tomorrow afternoon at noon, we have accelerated retirement. It's a live trade brief. I'm in the market. We're trading. We're doing stuff. It's really not the time for you in the chat box to go, okay, what the hell's a bear call spread? I'm going to say, that's a great question. Why don't you go watch the full throttle replays? So during the trading day, during the live trade briefs, when the market's open, I don't want to eat up bandwidth training. I do that at night. So watch the replays over and over and over again, and you will pick stuff up out of them. Okay, Tuesdays, Thursday night. There's the schedule. Tonight, after we get through kind of this some of this administrative stuff, I'm going to talk about my trading methodology and my intelligence sources, where I put all this stuff together. And then Thursday night at 7 o'clock, we're going to get into, this is the market, these are calls, these are puts. You don't even have to know a thing. Matter of fact, the less you know about trading options, the better. Actually, that's going to lead me to my first poll. Let me do this. Let me do this first. You ready for this? I'm going to fire this. What is your level of not options, of investing experience? What is your, go ahead and click a little vote there. Click a vote and say, this is my level. It's going to give me some, man, my phone is blowing up about this Kamala Harris stuff. I love it. Okay. I wish I had some Jeopardy music playing. Do. So you guys vote let's do about 10 more seconds. What is your level of investing, not options? Okay, 78% of you have voted. The rest of you hopefully are not doing something untoward. All right, so there you go. Here are your fellow members right now. 13% are new, which is fantastic. This is going to sound cheesy or not. Aside from January and February of this year, when it was just insanity, we literally made millionaires as the market imploded and the smart money was stupid. This is one of the best times to learn about investing, mainly because a storm's coming, and then after that, the market's going to rally. 76 ain't my first rodeo, and 11% of you are Jedi Masters. I love it. All right, next one. Let's do this one then. Fire. Now, let me know, what is your level of options experience? Greg, does something magic happen between the first and second rodeo? Asked like a man who's never been to the second rodeo. What is your options level experience? What's an option? That's usually my Marine buddies who don't know how to spell the word option. I know covered calls, some calls and puts, trade spreads, or I'm a Jedi Master. Okay, about 70% voted. That's good. All right, now let's see how we did. That's great. I love this. About 13% wants an option. Perfect. 22, I trade covered calls. So it's an even kind of split between the beginners and the intermediates. And then, of course, the 12% Jedi Masters are clearly people I've taught before. So awesome. I love that. And we are good to go. Just as for the folks who just signed up for this training at night for 8 weeks, just know that I practice, and thank God for the United States Navy, because I copied and pasted flight training from there. They could take a guy or a gal who's never even seen an airplane before, and in a short amount of time, turn them into a steely-eyed fighter pilot flying off the pointy end of an aircraft carrier over bad guy country. We practice what we call a demo-do approach. So at night, with a glass of wine, talking about options, I demonstrate. Then the next day, we're going to go in a live trade brief and do. We have weekly options at noon on Mondays, a primary live trade brief on Tuesday, accelerated retirement tomorrow, and then on Thursday, we do kind of a weekly debrief, how goes it for everything. If you've skied before, you kind of recognize those symbols. Not that weekly options are expert, they're just tactical. They're options that we put on Monday, And geez, we could be out of them Monday afternoon or hold them all the way to Friday. Okay, so just to give you a heads up, that's also what we do here at Top Gun Options. It's called Demo Do. Just like in the military, you're going to go read a book on how to do a loop. You're going to go to the simulator and do a loop. Your instructor is going to brief you how to do a loop in the squadron, and then you're going to go out in a two-seat F-18, and he's going to do a loop, and then you will. Okay, so that's kind of that's why we also want you to open a brokerage account, because we want you to paper trade. Okay, so on the E-Trade platform, ladies and gentlemen, you should see a paper trading account. What does that mean? What that means, folks, is they magically gave you $100,000. Okay, so this is a personal account, one of our personal accounts here at Top Gun Options. Over here on the launch pad, this is the regular one with real money. The paper trading account, folks, they give you $100,000, man. They give you 100 grand, and it's play money. This is an absolute must. Do not squeeze the trigger and fire a trade with real capital if you don't know what you're doing, because I mean this, you deserve to lose every penny. I didn't read a book on the Hornet and run out to the flight line and try and get airborne. I wouldn't be sitting here. I'd be dead. I went to the simulator building, engine fire, run through my checklist. You have to do this. You have to paper trade. When you feel comfortable after a bunch of paper trading, how long was, I don't know. There's 100 whatever people in here. There's 100 different mentalities about trading, which we're going to talk about in a second. But you have got to paper trade before you put any real capital at risk. Everybody give me a vertical head nod that you understand that. Okay. It's fantastic that they do that, right? That they allow you to. I didn't have. Here we go. This dude's old. I didn't have paper trading when I was growing up, man. I learned the hard way. As a matter of fact, when I helped build the retail brokerage called Options House, I was a big proponent of the paper trading because it would help people, man. It goes right into my military ethos of you have to hit the simulator building. Okay, good. All right, getting a lot of vertical head nods. I appreciate that because that's exactly what we need to be doing here. So you have to paper trade. Okay, everybody saw this paper trading account, right? Did I have the right screen up? Yeah, exactly, Tamara. No matter how much you've paper traded, you're going to wish you always had more. So here's this is what the paper trading account looks like. They gave me a fake $100. This one was open recently. This is my portfolio managed account. So this is a brand new account that I opened, which is the paper trading account. And then this is one of my personal. Look at the market implosion today. We're going to talk about this in a little bit. Look at what happened with the market. Can you say Camilla, Vanilla, Harris, and the Big Ten canceling football? Look at that, man. Okay, let's get back to here. So we do Demo Do here at Top Gun Options. We're going to talk through training and investing and all sorts of stuff, and then you hop in the simulator and go do. Okay? All right. You all should know me. If you just joined Top Gun Options for this training, welcome. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz. Last time I checked with my parents, they did love me. They didn't name me that. I earned the call sign Wiz, flying the F-18 Hornet for about 15 years for the United States Navy. Graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School, which many of you know is Top Gun, and did some couple combat sorties over Iraq. I graduated from the adversary course, so I was a bad guy. I was a good guy. I was a good bad guy. How about that? So that's me. Loved investing, loved the military, kind of taught myself how to trade options. I applied everything I was learning flying a fighter jet to my trading, being disciplined, managing risk, having a strategic plan and implementing tactics, knowing when to get out of a good or bad situation before it got worse. And it worked incredibly well. I eventually popped. What a beautiful and awful city, man. Look at that. This was my trading firm right here. That's the Chicago Board of Trade. This is the intersection of Jackson and LaSalle. What a beautiful, and now it's being destroyed. Don't even get me started. But essentially went up to the big league. So I was you, folks. If you're sitting there drinking from a fire hose, welcome. I did too. I was trading options before Al Gore invented the internet. Now I'm really dating myself. So um, I wish I had this. I wish I had a Top Gun options, but I kind of learned the hard way through fire and ended up being called up to the big leagues. Built a hedge fund when I was there. Built the retail brokerage options house when I was there. And I always joked that I felt like Eddie Murphy in Trading Places. And I got to be honest with you, I always am honest with you, but there is no such thing as the smart money. I don't know how many times I sat within a 4 block radius of the board of trade and looked around the room going, you're the smart money. You're behind the great and wonderful Oz, the curtain. Yikes. And they're not. So anyway, helped run that billion-dollar company, a multi-billion-dollar company. Started the Options News Network, ONN.TV, and then about 10 years ago came down here to Florida and started Top Gun Options. 10 years, man. We've trained over 10,000 folks from all levels, folks. Little old lady in tennis shoes, the Jedi Masters, the hedge fund managers, you name it. A couple billionaires throughout our time here. 2 of them are still here. Good stuff. Do some charity work. Already briefed you on that. Advisory council down in Broward. Lost a sister to a drunk driver, unfortunately. My sister Monica, I miss every day. So I work with MAD, and then as I briefed, I started my own foundation. Okay, so that's me. In our training together for the next 8 sessions, 4 weeks, I'm gonna tell you how I feel about stuff. If we're talking about a bear call spread or buying, puts on Tesla or whatever it is, I'm going to tell you how he feels as an American. 15 years serving my country, a lot of memorial services, hoisted a lot of drinks for buddies who died. And I'll tell you how I feel as an American. But then I'm going to, so I like to tell my TGO members, which you guys are all now TGO members, I wear 2 suits. I wear a flight suit, and I'll tell you how I feel as an American. And then I'm going to throw in my $10,000 Armani, and I'm going to tell you how I feel as Gordon Gekko in Wall Street. Because sometimes they're in conflict. I'll be totally honest with you. There's times when we do what I call hold your nose trades, like, I can't believe I'm doing this. It's awful, or this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, but I don't care. I'm going to try and make money. So if you're trying to trade, I'm not going to say ethically. I'm at a loss for words. If your conscience is getting in the way of making you money, I'll use a Gordon Gekko line from the movie Wall Street. If you want a friend, get a dog. When it comes to making money, I'm one of the best there is. I'm Ricky Bobby. I wake up in the morning and I piss excellence, and I'm not joking when I say that, because we're going to talk about this smart money and how they blew it from this COVID crash to the Trump election. I got it right, and they got it wrong. Now, having said all that, I already gave you homework. You got to watch the previous Full Throttles to get up to speed. Here's more. This is some required reading. When I went up to Chicago, I went from being a little retail trader like yourself to multi-billion-dollar firm. They gave me a couple books to read, and I'm so glad they did, because I use the term, the phrase, put the ladder down. I loved Chicago. I loved the people, the food. The weather sucked. 9 months out of the year, it was misery. But I made it, right? Most of the folks that I saw on Wall Street, when they made it, they pulled the ladder up. I got mine. You can kiss my ass, peasants. That ain't me. So I'm putting the ladder down. You have got to read these 3 books. Not tomorrow, not by next, sometime in the next 4 weeks. I want you to at least get started on a couple of these, okay? It's called When Genius Failed, the first one, The Rise and Fall of Long-Term Capital Management. It is a fantastic book. You're going to read it, and it's going to feel familiar to this market that we're in right now. Bunch of 20-somethings, gamble, essentially. I'm not going to order it. The next one, and this is no particular order. Here's the order I read these in. I read Liar's Poker first. This is awesome. Michael Lewis should sound familiar. He's a famous author. He started on the bond trading floor at Salmon Smith Barney, kind of like a fraternity dude just kind of hung over, graduated, and stumbled into Wall Street. It's phenomenal. So I read this first. I read this second. And then this one I read third. I actually read this one a couple years ago after I left Chicago. The Myth of the Rational Market, a history of risk, reward, and delusion. Ooh, didn't think I'd say the word delusion today, but I just did. So first, second, third. I guess I should have put those in order. So if you really wanted me to prioritize Liar's Poker and When Genius Failed, this one would be a nice, I don't know, Thanksgiving break or Christmas read it type of thing. Liar's Poker and When Genius Failed. Okay. This is a must. And I only started doing this, I think, like when the COVID crash happened, when we all got locked up in prison. Uh, and people are like, hey, what do you do? I'm like, you know what? Why don't we use this time to get smart on stuff that I got smart on, or tried to at least. Now, this is going to shock some of you, especially my current members, but new members, maybe this will be a seamless transition. This is also required reading, these things. You ready for this? The Power of Now. And trust me when I tell you this, that if Wiz from 5 years ago saw me, if he walked in right now, seeing me give this presentation, he'd beat me with my own arm. Just, I, first of all, I wouldn't know who that dude was, but I'm not kidding you. This book, his next book, A New Earth, and also the Four Agreements. Dude, I showed up to learn how to trade options, and this guy's talking to me. Yeah, listen to me. 95% of investing or trading is mental. And one of the things I'm going to teach you as a fighter pilot and a trader is to have checklists, to be disciplined. You should, over in your little control panel, you should see a bunch of handouts. It says handouts 4 of 5, hopefully, over there. Yeah. So we're going to get into that in a couple minutes. But I'm telling you this, if you ain't good, if you're not right in the head, which flying fighter jets and being from New Jersey, I'm kind of pushing it, you're going to be awful. Now, I run this place so I can be sexist. I'm going to tell you, in my experience of 28, now I'm really dating myself. In 28 years, I've been doing this. I got commissioned as an ensign at Jacksonville University up in Jacksonville. Drove down to Key West for my first duty station and bought my first mutual fund through USAA. I've been doing it for 28 years. I wish I had known about the power of stuff like this. And I'm telling you, I'm beside myself right now. I still get shaking to the old me like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm telling you to do this. I had my own personal journeys and issues in my life, whether it was meditation or reading these books. I am 1,000% a better trader. Oh, back to the sexist comment. I almost forgot. 28 years of doing this, women tend to make better traders. First of all, they can remember what you said 15 years ago to the second, right? But they're a little bit more guys. I'm telling you, they're a little bit more. They got a little bit more of this stuff under control. Look, a lot of people, and you're right, man. No ego. Whoever just wrote that. Men traders are usually swinging for the fences, cannot take the fact that a trade's going against them, will double down. It can be bad. So, good question. What would I order these in? Four Agreements is a quick read. It's a weekend to a Saturday on the couch. Power of Now is a must. Mine's sitting over there. It's half eaten by one of my dogs, and I still reread it. And then probably that. Okay, I'm not kidding you when I tell you this, folks. I usually go play Secret Shopper, and go look at some other. Nobody's talking about this, folks. If you're not okay, I'm probably getting up tomorrow morning. I go watch the sunrise in Boca sometimes. I come back. I meditate. I feel fantastic, and I am ready for the trading day. And my trading day, if I didn't have to teach and stuff like that, would either not be anything for the day or 20 to 30 minutes. This doesn't require a lot of time. I don't teach day trading. I'd rather get my teeth drilled. There are some weeks, folks, like the big earnings week. I don't know, like 2, 3 weeks ago, we didn't do anything. We I did all the trade briefs, but we sat on our hands. I call it popcorn moments. When I have a question mark, when I have a big question mark on my forehead about I really don't know how the market's going to react, we don't do anything. Always, always, always remember that cash is a position. Cash is a great trade if you don't know what's going on. Don't trade angry. That's a good segue back to what's on the screen. I'm telling you, man, it's going to help. I put this out like 6 months ago, and people are still coming back to me and saying, you know what, dude, I can't believe you put that stuff out, and it meant a lot, and it really helped. I'm putting the ladder down, folks. Required thinking, like I said, meditation. Again, the same whiz who would walk in here and beat me with my own leg would be shocked to know that I do hot yoga. About, I don't know, a year, 2 years ago, I've living down in Fort Lauderdale, and close friend said, "You got to go try this, man. You ain't right." Okay, thanks. Helped save my life. Have fantastic. Hopefully, some of the folks that have really helped me are in the room tonight. They've helped me become a better version of me. If I'm not going to be better tomorrow than I am tonight, why even wake up, man? What's the point? But the meditation and this type of attitude. I remember being in Chicago, and a dude, whenever somebody'd run up to me, because I was essentially like the chief operating officer for this multi-big traders and legal and compliance and techies. We went from like 99 employees to when I left like 600, man, just explosive growth. But whenever somebody bust into my office like, Wiz, oh, I'm like, whoa, 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 calm down. Is anybody dead? They're like, what? I'm like, who's dead? Nobody. One of the servers crashed. I'm like, then calm the frick down, dude. You have to have that type of thinking in trading as well. Look at the top of the screen, that F-18. If I screwed up on a mission, there could be a flag on the fireplace and my ashes in an urn, man, and dad ain't coming home type of thing. You have a bad trade, get over it, man. You think Tiger Woods slices into the woods or the water and takes that attitude to the next hole? You got to put it behind you. So unless somebody dies in your trading, get over it. Losing trades happen, man. Learn from them and apply it going forward. So always remember, it can be worse. Our win rate year to date, I think I did the math last week. It's got an 8 in front of it. We're doing fantastic, like 80 some, I forget what it was, low 80s. It was like an 83%. Forgive me if it's not exact, but 83% of the positions I've covered year to date have made money. Okay, so remember, it can always be worse. So just let's take that thinking with us. Exactly, Dutch. You have to have a short memory to be a successful trader. Don't forget the lessons, but yeah, exactly. All right. So let's just talk 50,000 foot. And then as we go on in our 8 sessions, we're going to get super tactical where we're talking about iron condors and stuff like that. But as a fighter, trading's a form of combat. Think about this. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to get their ass handed to them. Which one do you want to be? Obviously, you want to be the one that doesn't get their ass handed to them. You want to be doing the ass handing. So if it's a form of combat, a lot of people think flying a fighter jet was complex or trading options is complex. It ain't. But how do you battle complexity? You battle complexity with simplicity. Say that again, but slowly. You battle complexity with simplicity. So how do I trade options, man? I showed up for this brief. Let's do an acronym. FMT. Oh, and I forgot. You need to go to Staples, Office Depot, whatever, and get one of these. I'm going to show you my trade plan in here. And this is I got a couple journals. I got one in my car in case I'm at the beach and I want to write something down. You need to be writing a lot of notes down. So go grab un stilo and a piece of paper, or get a journal. You should have a trade journal. I should have put that down as like required for next time. See, I'm giving myself lessons learned. Trade journal. Forgot about that. Why? if you're sitting there going, well, I'll just put them in a Word document or I'll put them on an Excel sheet. I'm not a booger eater, folks. I'm not an Excel sheet guy or a Word document guy. I am a writer of stuff. Why? This is my MGM trade from today. I look like a doctor, I know, but there's something about the human mind, folks, that says I picked up a pen, I engaged my processing power, and I transferred it and I wrote. And there's something to be said how during the lifetime of this MGM trade that I placed today, I go back and read it. I'm like, wow, in my chicken scratch, I said that I would get out of this trade if it made this much money or lost this much. It's doing it. Get out. When I tried to be a Word document guy or an Excel sheet guy with writing stuff down about my trading, it didn't. It was antiseptic. When I opened a Word doc and I read the ones and zeros on the screen, it just didn't. That's me. If you're a booger eater with your Excel sheets and Word docs, knock yourself out. Like I said, in the handout section right there, you're going to see a couple examples of trade plans that your fellow members gave you. Jack, best opening remarks that I've ever heard from you. So glad I'm here. I think it's because I have some special friends, a special friend who's paying attention, a couple of them actually. We have Nicole, Coco, Derek, hopefully in here. These guys are helping me out, so I'm trying to help them out. So you ready for this? How to trade options. F, find. Most people, when they start investing, right now, ladies and gentlemen, there's about 3,000 stocks and optionable. There's 3,000 stuffs out there. Don't even get me started about Bitcoin. I'm not even gonna start. Okay. So find. How are we going to find a trade, a stock to trade or an options, whatever it is, Wiz? Find it. How are we going to find it? With the 7-step trade plan that I'm going to teach you in about 5 minutes. Nobody else does this, folks. If you went to some other dude or lady's presentation, they most likely, I've seen it. I've been at the conferences. You should trade using a trade plan. And I'm like, can you share yours? Do you have one? They're like, okay, next question. I'm like, that was awful. I'm a fighter pilot. I'm an options trader. I do everything with a plan, man. It's disciplined. Look at the top of that slide. Discipline, risk management. That's how you get superior execution. So I'm going to teach you the 7-step trade plan in 5 minutes. What do you do after you find a good trade that you want to do? Is you manage risk. You manage risk. You said that twice. I'm going to say it 3 times. Folks, you have got to manage your risk. I love teaching brand new people how to trade and invest because they're going to learn the right way. I'll bump into somebody like, oh, you trade? I trade. Great. Okay. Well, I'm in this trade and it's making this much money. I'm like, how much can you lose? And they get like pissed. Like, oh, how dare you ask? I told you it's up. I don't care that it's up. How much can you lose? And are you willing to lose that? Well, what? I never. Exactly. That's why you're an awful trader or investor. Before I ever get airborne on a fighter pilot mission or get airborne in any trade, I know exactly what my max potential loss is. And if it ain't acceptable, I'm not getting airborne. I never was ordered to go. This ain't World War II, the Battle of Midway with kamikazes coming at us, folks. No suicide missions, right? So manage risk. That word at the end of that sentence right there, SOP, I'm going to teach you in a couple minutes, stands for Standard Operating Procedure. I'm going to give you my SOP. In this trade, I don't want to risk this much, and I'm going to get out with this profit. You're going to look at that and go, okay, that's his SOP. And then you're going to start coming up with your own risk tolerance. I trade a larger portfolio. So if I tell you in this trade, I don't want to risk more than 5% in my portfolio, that might be 20 grand. Hell, I don't even have 20 grand to invest with. I have 2. Well, then you just trade less contracts, right? If I'm doing 300 contracts, maybe you do 3. So I'll teach you about the scaling of stuff. But the point I'm dropping anchor with right here, you have to manage risk. And we got guys I don't know if you know this Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports, and with sports not happening right now and people getting stimulus checks, guess what people are doing? They're opening Robinhood accounts, and everybody's turning into a day trader. And my hands shake when I watch some of these presentations. I'm like, my God, the one guy's motto is stocks only go up. I'm like, no, they don't. You're going to get people wiped out. That's not going to happen to you at Top Gun Options because you're going to know and to learn how to manage risk. FM, how do we trade options? We find a trade using our trade plan. We manage the damn risk. I know my risk, man. Then we what? We trade it. We place the trade and we monitor it. So FMT, it's a nice way to, how do you trade options? FMT. I find a good trade. I know it. I manage my risk, and I manage it, man. I watch it. So you should start feeling like this a little bit. In the Navy, we're like, if you don't feel like you're drinking from a fire hose right now, I'm failing. Okay, you should feel like this. But once you start getting airborne, that should go a little bit more to a garden hose. Okay. Before we get into the trade plan that we're going to use for the next 7 sessions after tonight, let's talk about my intelligence sources. The biggest intelligence source that you have, ladies and gentlemen, you just don't know it, is the 7, 5, 12, maybe for my Marine buddies, inches of gray matter between your ears. Okay? I'm telling you, and I ordered this book because after seeing, I know John and Pete Najarian very well from Chicago. They're great Americans. They're huge dudes and football players, so I don't want to badmouth them because they'll break my legs. But the name of their book, Follow the Smart Money. So what John and Pete do, and they've done great living doing this, is they're kind of like the little remora fish on the bottom of a shark or something like that. So they quote, follow the smart money. The problem with this, folks, is the smart money is not so smart. The smart money before Donald Trump got elected told you what? They said Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Citigroup. 2 days before the election, Citigroup says Donald Trump loses, Hillary Clinton wins by double digits. If Trump wins, the market's going to implode. It'll be a bear market. I'm like, they're lying and they're wrong. Trump's not only going to win, the market's going to rally at least 20%. Who got it right? Me. Goldman Sachs. Wrong. What happened in January? January 22nd, sitting here in a live trade brief. Donald Trump sitting in Davos, Switzerland. The CNBC guy said, so what's this weird thing in China, this virus thing? And Trump, not even a big deal. I trust Xi, love Xi. Nobody does Xi better than me. Believe me. It's not even going to come here. Why are you asking me this question? I looked at the camera. I looked at you guys, and I said, get in the cash, get long volatility, and buy puts on the market. He's lying. Market imploded the next day. We recovered a little bit, and then guess what happened in February? Cash is trash. World's largest hedge fund manager said, that thing's a joke, COVID. If you're in cash right now, you're an idiot. I couldn't be more bullish. 2.5 days later, I predicted, and it happened, the market imploded. We made 32 millionaires at Top Gun Options. So the smart money isn't smart. So the biggest intelligence source you have is you and us. Okay? So let's go through some intelligence sources. Jeffrey Gunlock predicted Trump would win, but he did it after me. I will tell you that 2 months after I said Trump would win and the market would rally, he did. Not that he listened to me. Okay, so what's an average day for Wiz look like? I got to be honest with you. I still get up, put on the bunny slippers. I go get the Wall Street Journal out of the driveway, and I got a subscription to the online version. This is an absolute must. In my live trade briefs during the day, I'll brief you on everything that's going on. But if you want to really, really learn how to do this solo on your own, listen to me. When I got to Chicago, I lived out in Naperville, out in the suburbs. And I got on the express train every morning. I think it was the 722 in Naperville, and it was a 32-minute express train into Union Station. And then I'd walk the four blocks to the Board of Trade. Why am I rambling about this? When I first got on that train that first day in Naperville and got on the car, I didn't see a face. Everybody's face was buried in the Wall Street Journal. It is literally the paper of record for Wall Street. If it was in the Journal, it would move the market that day. It's a fact, ladies and gentlemen. So the Wall Street Journal, let's just start with the name. It's the Wall Street Journal. So think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Here's another reason you are the smart money. Back in the day, again, before Al Gore invented the internet or before the Wall Street Journal had a web page, this stuff flew around like rumors. Hey, did you hear this at firm X, or this deal might be happening? Stuff flew around. And by the time a lowly retail trader like you got that news, it was hours, a day, a couple days old. The market action already happened. But now the playing field's pretty damn level. I got to be honest with you, and I won't name names. The trading tools on where's their live action tool? Well, the market's closed. But the tools on the E-Trade site for options traders are equivalent, if not better than the tools that I had as a professional trader in Chicago. The playing field has been leveled. So I'll brief you on everything that's in the Wall Street Journal. You want to learn how to do this eventually on your own? You will read this with a cup of coffee, top to bottom. I remember getting on the train and seeing headlines about CDOs, collateralized debt obligations, and mortgages and tranches of debt. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what these things are. I read them. I read it again. I read the next day's paper, and pretty damn soon through osmosis, you're starting to get it, okay? This isn't a request. This is a requirement. You have got to read the Wall Street Journal. I got my two boys, Matthew who's 20 and Jack who's 15. They have to read the journal, and they got to circle. They got to give me an intelligence brief and let me know what they're looking at. This is not a request. This is a requirement. Again, I'm still a hard copy guy. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up, go watch the sunrise on the beach. I'm going to take my Wall Street Journal, go to Tom's Country Kitchen in God's Waiting Room here in Boca Raton. I'm going to get my bacon and eggs and hash browns with cheese and my juice. And I'm going to read the journal. I bring a pen and a marker, and I start circling stuff, okay? So this is a must, okay? We good? Yeah, I saw that he predicted Trump wins again this afternoon. That would be fantastic. Now, let's go through some of the other websites. This is a must as well to read. This is probably the best financial website out there. CNBC? Nope. Fox Business? Nope. It's called Zero Hedge. Again, you should be right. Oh, I forgot to brief you. On the little window you're looking at this screen in, there's a little camera icon. I forget with Mac. Mac, you got to hit like control something. But I'm not a booger eater, so I'm a Android and laptop dude. There's a little camera icon. So if you want to take a screenshot of whatever you're looking at, that I'm looking at, just click the little camera icon and it saves it to the desk. Okay. Oh, it's on the Mac too. Thanks, Jeff. But look at this. So Zero Hedge so back in the day, before you had like a Wall Street Journal or like financial news sites, they started this news site, right? And this was kind of inside stuff. And it got to the point where the intel on this page was so good that the government's like, you need to make that a public site. There's too much inside stuff on here. They're like, okay. This got kicked off of Facebook for a while. I think they got banned on Twitter because it's there. The guy posts. There's political stuff on here as well. I mean, Sturgis motorcycle rally kicks off with a bang amid COVID 84. So there's stuff on here, but it's a ton. This is a must. Oh yeah, I tried to watch the Gunlocks webcast. I read the Wall Street Journal and I read Zero Hedge. Peak insanity. Tesla today announced that they're going to do a 5-for-1 stock split. Facebook cracks down on fake local news networks run by political operatives. I can't say this enough. It's a must. You have got to be honest. It's free. This isn't, I don't, it's free, and I don't, you know. Apple shares slump after Evercore warns of surprisingly negative Chinese smartphone data. Oh, let me remind you more about the smart money. Goldman Sachs 3 weeks ago, the week that Apple had earnings, Apple's going to have horrible earnings. Get out of the stock. Apple had blowout earnings and the stock went up $40. Goldman Sachs. They hold their pinky up when they drink their caramel macchiatos, and they had blowout earnings. So Goldman Sachs. There you go. Retail buying frenzy lifts Robinhood as ultra rich dump stocks. Oh, that's pretty funny. Chinese military ordered not to fire first shot in any standoff with U.S. forces. Super. What am I getting at? This is a must watch. Before I go to bed, when I get up, throughout the day, I'm working out at the gym. I got zero hedge up, and I'm on it. Bailing on Boeing. Order cancellations exceed new sales for 6th straight month. Wow. Okay. Some Bitcoin stuff. Mortgage mayhem begins. Overall delinquency rate soars as housing crisis lurks. Oh, this is great. The current Federal Election Commissioner, substantial chance we won't know the winner on election night. Oh, man, that's awesome. I mean, here's a perfect flight suit Gordon Gekko moment. Wearing my flight suit, that's a disgrace. Wearing my Gordon Gekko, I'm going to print money around the elections. Let me tell you this right now before I forget. This point in space right there, that little X that I just drew, is election day. What do you think is going to happen between right where we are right today? That's a chart of the S&P 500 and the election. I'm going to draw a big ass wall right here. You ready? D. It's called the drink wall. This market has to get over this to the election, and it's not. It's most likely going to do this. What? You heard me. You ready? What's drink stand for, Wiz? I don't know. Let me do this first. DRINC. Democrats, Russia, Iran, North Korea, China. Say it with me. China. The China virus. These individual letters in this acronym are either going to, in concert or individually, do everything in their power to destroy the president's election chances. You ever hear the term October surprise? You're going to hear it this year. It ain't, September and October are going to be a shit show in this market. What's the competing? What do you think? Trump's just going to lie down and take it? Nope. Vaccine. Did you see the market today, ladies and gentlemen? Woke up, bunny slippers, go take a look at the market. The market with the futures were up 300 whatever points today before the market even opened. Why? That's what I'd like to know. Breaking news, Vladimir Putin. Okay. Vladimir Putin announces Russia's got a COVID vaccine. The futures, which aren't options or stocks, different type of market, it's kind of an indication of, you ready for this, the future, how the market might look when it opens at the opening bell at 9:30. So the futures were up over 300 points. We're going to have a great day in the market. Okay. Dig into what happened this morning. Vladimir Putin, you can't see any of the data. It's only been kind of around for 2 months, and that wouldn't even be considered phase 1 trials in the US. But he said he gave it to his daughter and she only got a headache. What? You heard me. So the market opened and gapped up. Men lie, numbers don't. Orders. What did Wiz do as soon as the market opened? 5 minutes and 27 seconds after the market opened, I got bearish, which means what? I knew the market was going to sell off throughout the day. Take a look at the chart. Look at this. We kind of him-hawed around, and we literally flew into the side of a mountain here. That trade, so I got filled at $1.35. I closed it this afternoon at 30 cents. So I sold it at $1.35. I bought it back at 30. That's $1.05. 30 contracts. 30 contracts times $1.05. That was a nice day of work. $3,100, made $3,200 just on stupidity. So you have, reading is knowledge, exactly. Reading is fundamental. You have got to read Zero Hedge, and you have got to read online Wall Street Journal. This is another website I use. So on my brokerage platform, there's charts on here. It's almost too much at some point. This is a 3-month chart, but this is called stockcharts.com. Write this URL down or type it in right now. And I look at SPX. Okay, I'll explain to you as we go on in our training over the next couple weeks what the blue line is, what the red line is, what all this stuff looks like. But even if you just showed up from the other side of Mars, you know that what? There's the February implosion in the market, and then there's the we haven't looked back. We are at record. We've essentially recovered all the losses we had due to COVID. Now, if you're sitting at home going, my God, Wiz, I can't even find a job, or I'm out of work, or my buddy's restaurant is closed. I know. Put my flight suit on. I'm freaking heartbroken about what's going on in this country. That's why, from to whom much is given, much is required. I'm trying to help people out, man, because look at the chart of the market. Write this down in your journal. Like, the first thing in your journal should be this: the stock market is not the economy. If I had a chart of kind of the macroeconomic things going on in this country right now, the stock market looks like this. The macroeconomic stuff is down here. Okay? But again, you want a friend, get a dog. I'm going to teach you. What are you going to do? Sit here in a fetal position and suck on your thumb like, oh my God, we can't make money because the stock market's going on because people are hurting? Help them. Make money and go help them. So this website you need as a favorite. So Wall Street Journal, Zero Hedge, stock charts. Now, and also this one. This is called Forex Factory. Yeah, I can post. As I go, I can kind of post links in the chat box here. There you go. Paste. forexfactory.com. And I want you to click on calendar up here. See, it says calendar. forexfactory.com. Yeah, you bet. This is all recorded. So again, you're going to watch these. You're here live, writing stuff down furiously, having a glass of wine. You're going to watch the replay after I post it tonight or tomorrow, and watch it again Sunday. You'll pick up or go back and pick stuff up. So I will speak slower, but yeah, it's all recorded. Why do I say calendar? Because if you look on this page, these are the events going on during the market during the week. What's today? Tuesday? What's tomorrow? Wednesday. Wednesday. You can probably figure this out pretty damn quickly. Obviously, that's the time. This is the country or zone. Great Britain, Japan, Eurozone. Oh, what's going on for the U.S. tomorrow? Ooh, some inflation numbers. You see this little red fire? What do you think that means? That's probably, it could have a high impact on the market. What's this Manila fire? Yeah, low impact. Okay, the orangish is medium. Nothing else really big in the U.S. Oh, budget balance. That's going to be embarrassing. Thursday, you can look. So I'll bring this up. Friday's a big day. Retail sales. How are we doing as a consumer? Non-farm payroll, cap rate, boom, boom, boom. So if get on forexfactory.com and click on calendar and go to one of these things. Like, this one should make sense to you. Everybody in this room buys stuff. Hopefully you're buying on Amazon so you can make my call options go up. Anyway, retail sales. Click on this little folder over here and it gives you kind of all the info. Where does it come from? I love this. This is the whiz block. Why traders care. It's the primary gauge of consumer spending, which accounts for the majority of overall economic activity. Okay, duh. Now also go all the way over here to the right and look at the little bar chart. You see that little bar chart symbol? Open it. Holy crap. I haven't looked at this. Look at the COVID crash, folks. Let's go over here in time. Here's the COVID crash. Retail sales imploded. I've never seen any. Well, first of all, in the history of retail sales, let's go back to look at the worst right here, folks. This is the last financial crisis we had when I was in the board of trade, when we bailed out Wall Street. Look at how bad that was. Look at that. That's insane. Clearly I surprised myself. I haven't looked at the retail sales because I kind of knew that they all sucked and then they rebounded, but I should do a better job of looking at this. Look at this. Folks, they look like they're what? Reversed. They flipped these. So here's the expectation, that kind of yellow line. If the retail sales are better on Friday, maybe the market goes up. This is why I'm rambling about this site, is because once I teach you how to look at stuff, you need to be looking at this. Like Monday morning, you're hanging out with your cup of coffee, getting ready to go to Yoga Joint North. But you look at the flight schedule for the week and say, hey, what's going on this week? That could be market moving. Okay, so Wall Street Journal, zero hedge, stock charts, Forex Factory. Okay. Now, this is going to shock you, or maybe it won't. The other two websites you need to be kind of paying attention to right now are right here. And yes, your FBI agent that's currently monitoring you, sitting in a cave somewhere, is going to be like, why are they? The Global Times. What? This is the mouthpiece of China. This is their propaganda. And then this one, the South China Morning Post. Why am I bringing this up? Folks, in my opinion, we'll get back to training in a second. I believe between now and the election, China invades Taiwan, or there's military action in the South China Sea. The market will implode. And that's an opportunity to print money as an options trader. So in a couple seconds, I'm going to actually give you how I think about the market, because this type of stuff, you can't jump into trading and go, I like Tesla, I bought a Tesla, I'm buying Tesla. Because we could be at war tomorrow defending Taiwan against China, and the stock market gets cut in half and Tesla is going to be obliterated. I didn't know that was happening. That's because you're awful. You have got to think strategically before you trade tactically. What a great segue by me. I know. So let's do that. Here it is. Right. Oh, you know what? And clearly, obviously, I mean, I got my TVs right on right now. Clearly, CNBC. And the second one, Mitch, was SCMP, South China Morning Post. Global Times and South China Morning Post. Oh, and here's the last kind of tab you have to have up. I mean, you see mine. These are all my intelligence sources, articles I'm going to be briefing tomorrow in the live trade brief. This is a must. You ready? I can't stand Twitter. I hope they go out of business. I can't stand anybody who works there. Donald J. Trump, you have got to have his Twitter feed up. Big stock market numbers. Whenever you wouldn't believe, here's a shameless plug. I'm writing a book about the COVID crash and how we predicted it, and it was fantastic. Does anybody remember when it was, when was it? It was one of these. Like right here, like stocks are incredibly cheap right here. What did I tell the members? I'm like, oh, for the love of God. The market kind of went up a little bit on him saying that. We got super bearish and it imploded. He did that like twice on the way down. It's like the opposite indicator. It used to be a good indicator. What do I mean by that? In case you haven't noticed, for the past 2 years, we've been in a trade war with China. Back in the old days, before the COVID crash, when I love Xi, talk to Xi, he's coming to Mar-a-Lago for a signing ceremony, great backswing, love the guy. What happened? Donald Trump could move the markets with a tweet about trade. Just got off the phone with Xi, we're going to get a fantastic, super, nobody believe me deal. Boom, 900-point climb in the Dow. Or I ordered Secretary Mnuchin and Ambassador Lighthizer to get on a plane and come home. Screw the Chinese, I'm raising tariffs. Market imploded. He tweeted first, folks. You have got to love them or hate them, and we can talk about that over a drink. You have got to have the president's Twitter feed up if you want to trade. I love people who Well, those people don't exist anymore because they're broke. Trust me, in 10 years of teaching people at Top Gun Options, I've always traded politics because that's what moves the market. I love people who I don't. Well, that's why you're awful. You have got to trade this guy's. You have got to have this guy's Twitter feed up. Okay. All right. Finally, so that's kind of the websites and stuff like that that I look at. Clearly, Fox Business is great to have on. CNBC, the opening, whatever it's called, Squawk Box or whatever, and then the lunch is it. Everything else sucks. Jim Cramer, awful. If you take stock advice from a dude with a cowbell and an air horn, you deserve to lose all your money. But the halftime is pretty good. I know a couple of those guys, and Fox Business is pretty good. So if you're gonna have, if you know, it's pretty good. CNBC and Fox Business. Okay, here we go. Top Gun Options methodology. SOT, strategic, operational, tactical. I'm like Neo in the Matrix. I take this little, triangle looking thing or Knights of Columbus or Freemason thing, and I take that and I put it on the market. What do I mean by that? Many of you are just average retail traders. What do I mean by that? Especially for all the new folks. You just kind of want, all right, Wiz, what do I trade, man? Let's get trading. No. Many of you don't even know what you're doing for lunch tomorrow, let alone what you want to invest in 2 years out. Awful. Stop. Here's the way you need to think about investing and trading in the market. Strategic. In every one of my live trade briefs, Monday through Thursday, we take 10, 15, 20 minutes. It depends on what's going on in the world. And we go to 50,000 feet, grab some binoculars, and look out. What's going on around the world? Economically, politically, militarily. Anybody remember what happened to the market when Vladimir Putin invaded Crimea and then Ukraine or shot down an airliner? What about politically? Anybody trade? We did. We made 22 grand on the Brexit vote, trading volatility. What about economically? Anybody remember the Greek debt crisis of, when the hell was that? 14, 15, 13, whatever it was. We made about 35 grand trading weekly options on Greece. We're going to leave. No, we're going to stay. We're going to cut everything and make people actually work. No, we're not. It was shooting fish in a barrel. But many of you would have just been sitting here in your bunny slippers going, why do you need to know? You have to know. I'm going to treat you like an admiral or a general. I'm going to give you an intelligence brief. Look at what the hell's going on around the globe right now, folks. We are very close to war with China. Okay. Iran. Does anybody remember about 6-7 months ago, Donald Trump killing General Suleiman? And oh my God, he's going to get us into World War III with Iran. Actually, he didn't. But anyway, remember how the markets reacted? So enough. You have got to start anything with your investing up at 100,000 feet. Then what do? Let's peel back the onion, man, and go one layer deep. What's going on in America? Operationally, domestic, economic, and political events. What happened when they didn't sign this newest relief bill? Market sold off. What happened when they signed the original one? Market went up. What about politically? I love gridlock. I hate it as an American. I love it as Gordon Gekko. Why did I love gridlock under Obama and the Republicans? Because it was like shooting fish in a barrel. If we don't fund the government by midnight, it closes. So all these bond funds or like safe funds have to like freak out and get out of stuff. So the market, the volatility would go up, the market would go down. I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this is so stupid. This is so easy. And then you and I both know, even though we'd love it, the government was going to reopen. I don't want it to reopen, but it would eventually, and then the market would rebound. So you have to look at these issues. Now, we looked around the globe, we looked around America, then what do, folks? We can get tactical, and now we start trading. I'm telling you, man, after 28 years of doing this, people fly this thing inverted. They wake up and go, okay, man, what am I trading today? I'm like, what are you, high? No. Go up. Grab the binoculars. Look out, man, because I guarantee you, when, not if, breaking news on the bottom of the screen. China does something in Taiwan or whatever like that, and the futures are down 1,000 points. I'm the guy that sits here on my couch with my glass of wine going, I'm going to make a shitload of money tomorrow on that. Instead of like, oh my God, I'm going to be destroyed. Give me a vertical head nod that you understand that. Yeah, exactly. Do the opposite of Kramer. Okay. Let me keep us on time here. I got to cruise. Let's do our 7-step trade plan. This is a must. Get this ready, paper, whatever. Does everybody have the handouts over in the look over in your little control panel there? Did everybody open those or anything like that? Good. What is a vertical head nod? That's a vertical head nod. Okay. So I'm telling you, man, you could be a Word doc, you could be an Excel sheet. Do this. Write your trade plan down. I think I gave you an example. Robert Metzger's been a member here for years. His son is forward deployed, and I'll leave it at that. Let's just say his son is doing the Lord's work on behalf of America. But he's done a great job coming up with some materials to help you folks out. So let's go through this. Before we get into what a call is, what a put is, what the market is, any of this stuff, you have to know that you're going to do everything going forward when you learn how to trade options with the effing plan, man. I'm not kidding you. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't even compute to not do it this way. And the people that I see having troubles when they come to me or I try and help them, it's because they don't do this. So here we go. Sit up straight, pay attention. 7-step trade plan. Let's go through it. Step 1 is, what is your strategic mindset? Kind of like we just talked about. At a high level, what are you? What do you mean, what am I, Wiz? Are you bullish? Which, if you're new to investing, bullish means it's green. It means you think things are going to go up. Things are good. Are you bearish? Things, I don't know, man. Market's imploding right now. I'm bearish. You're volatile. Dude, this thing's all over the place. I mean, left, right, up, down. It's just craziness right now. Or neutral. We're just kind of moving sideways. We're in a holding, market's kind of in a holding pattern. I think we're just hanging out. On that screen right now, ladies and gentlemen, is all 4 of those at different points, right? This has been, I've never seen anything like this. Clearly bearish here, right? And this was pretty damn, so this was the rebound, up, down, up, down. That's volatile right there. This has been bullish, and we've had some pretty good neutral runs in here where for about, I don't know, 3 weeks, the market just kind of moves sideways, trying to, I say, decide, okay? So step 1 in your trade plan, what are you? Okay, and right down here, I put the word variations, meaning this. You can have variations on this. So my MGM trade that I did today, I'm cautiously bullish, right? I'm extremely bearish. You can have variations of something. Cautiously bullish means this to me. The market's going up mainly because of the Fed printing money and injecting it into the market. But the cautiously part is that I'm cautiously bullish, meaning we'll be bullish, but in the blink of an eye, I could be running out that door as soon as somebody else fire. That's what that means. So you can have variations of your strategic mindset. So taking a look at this chart, or maybe just how everybody feels, let's do this. Let me throw a poll at you, man. What are you right now? What is your current strategic mindset? And I placed this poll tactically so I could have a sip of wine. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Are you volatile? Not you personally or your 5 personalities. I mean the market. Or are you market neutral? Look at that run we had, man. The S&P doesn't go up 7 days in a row without a pullback. Today was awesome. Nice $3,200 or whatever it was. So, are you bullish, bearish, volatile, or neutral? Okay, a couple more seconds. Let's try and get everybody to vote. Kamala Harris is going to be the gift that keeps on giving. Oh, and by the way, if you call Jamaicans African Americans or Indians, they'll cut you. But yeah, whatever. All right. Close that poll. Let's show what your fellow members are. Take a look at that. 23% are bullish, 15 bearish, and 51 are saying here comes a shit show. I guess I should have put a D down there, like all the above, because I got to be honest with you, I think you're right. Short term, I'm cautiously bullish, but out to October, November, we're going to have an October surprise. Andy, for now, for the next month, I'll say I'm cautiously bullish. Okay. In October, I will be bearish unless we get a vaccine. All right, we got to move. Step one, what are you? 50,000 feet, what am I? What's your strategic mindset? Step two, what's your target? What are you going to shoot, man? What is the stock, the ETF, or the index that you're going to trade? So 50,000 foot, step one. Step two is here's what I want to target now. I'm cautiously bullish. I'm targeting Amazon. Step one, step two. So at Top Gun Options, we can trade options. I'm going to teach you how to trade options on stocks, ETF. ETF stands for an exchange traded fund. All an ETF, folks, is a bunch of stocks combined together. Okay, I'm going to show you one ETF that's got like 10 good stocks in it, like Home Depot and Starbucks and Nike and Amazon in it. So that's all an ETF is. A stock is one name. It's Amazon, it's Tesla, it's Facebook. An ETF is a group of stocks, and then an index is an index. The S&P 500, the volatility index. RUT is the Russell. Now, if you're new to investing or trading, this might not make sense to you, but I want you to write it down, and I'll remind you during your lifetime here at Top Gun Options all the time about this. You most likely can get better tax treatment trading an index over an ETF. It's different. It's a different tax treatment. That more than paid for your annual subscription to Top Gun Options, I guarantee you. When I shine the light on this to some people and they go do the math, they're like, where have you been all my life? So if you don't understand this right now, you're drinking from the fire hose. I get it. You will write this down in your journal somewhere, and if there's an index like the S&P 500, SPX, don't trade SPY, which is an ETF. You'll pay more in taxes. Again, I just bring this up at this point because it's an Uncle Wiz tax tip. If it doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it. It will, Neo, when you see the matrix. Step three, if you've been clubbing in the Bahamas mentally for the past hour and 18 minutes, you got to pay attention to me because this is the most important part of the trade plan, and it's the part that most people suck at or don't do. Step three of our trade plan, what are your commit criteria? Why are you committing capital to this trade? You work hard. The government sees you work hard and then takes a lot of money away from you. With what little money you have left to go invest, Joe Biden wants to take 42% of anything you make investing. Wait, hold on. You already taxed me. Now I'm going to use my brain and go invest, and you're going to take a ton of that too? You can kiss my ass. Anyway, step three, commit criteria. Why am I committing capital to this trade? Why are you in it? Ladies and gentlemen, you need to write down 3 to 5 sentences. I got my little bullet points here. IAC, Barry Diller, investment flash in the pan, Macau, tensions with China, war, bearish trade. That's my chicken scratch. But you need to write out 3 to 5 sentences of why you're committing capital to this trade. Folks, I call this the cocktail party pitch. What do I mean by that? Or if you've ever been in sales, what's your elevator pitch? Like if I got on the not that we get on an elevator in a big skyscraper in New York City anymore, since they're all empty, and you can't get on an elevator. But anyway, in the old days, from the 30th floor to the first floor, you have 30 seconds to sell me on being bullish on Apple. Go. If the elevator dinged and the doors open and I wasn't standing there looking at you going, oh my God, I'm an idiot. I can't believe I'm not in that trade. Your commit criteria suck. These folks, you're risking money. Why are you risking money? I'm telling you, man, when I bump into people like, oh, I'm a trader too. I have this trade on. I'm like, okay, great. Why are you in it? I got an iPhone. Not good enough. If you me, it's awful. You have got to be able to spit out 3 to 5 sentences to why I'm committing capital to this. And you ready for this? If this is the most important part of the trade plan, this is the most important subpart of the trade plan on step 3. What if those criteria change? Get out. Get out of the trade. Eyes go to the top of this slide. That's the discipline and the risk management. If you hit me with 3 to 5, this is why our online forum's good and some other services I'll introduce you to later, because trading solo kind of sucks. If you're just sitting in your bunny slippers trying to do this stuff, those 3 to 5 sentences might sound super to you. Here at Top Gun Options, you can bounce that off a bunch of people and we'll rip it to shreds and make you better. Here's what I'm getting at though. Many retail traders, when they start investing and a trade starts going against them, and they look at their commit criteria and go, wow, those sentences they're not valid anymore. My God, for the love of God and all things holy, the second you hear yourself kind of saying that, pull the ejection handle and get out of the trade. But most retail traders do what? Well, it's kind of going against me, but Apple doesn't hate me. Apple would steamroll over your house and doesn't even know you exist. Anytime your commit criteria change, if the reasons you got into a trade with your hard-earned money change, get out. This is the toughest thing to learn in investing, but it ain't for me, or it wasn't for me, because I have it written down on my checklist. If the MGM trade I'm in right now, a week from now, starts going against me, I'm going to open my thing and say, nope, that changed. I need to get out of it. Okay? So anytime the commit criteria change, get out of the trade. Now, I will teach you eventually, we'll get to this. If the commit criteria change, but you have some good situational awareness, put the cigar in your mouth, you sign for the airplane, meaning you're the pilot in command, like, I know it's changed, Wiz, but X, Y, and Z. All right, dude, you own the airplane. You're the PIC, the pilot in command of your portfolio, not me. Good for you. All right, step 4. Now that we have our 100,000-foot view, we know our target, we know why we're committing capital, now we just select the tactic that we're going to use for our target. The tactic you're going to learn in the next 7 sessions. What tactic do I use? Do I buy some calls? Do I do a bull put spread? If you don't know what buying calls means or a bull put spread, tune in for the next sessions. Please don't ever use the word strategy with me. There's no such thing as an options strategy. If you're sitting there going, well, over at this place, I learned that iron condors were a great strategy. You didn't learn anything because that's the wrong word. Strategy is high level. It's, you ready? Strategic. A tactic is down here. An iron condor supports a strategy. A financial strategy would be saving for college, short-term income generation, buying a boat in 6 months. A tactic would support that. So not a strategy, but you're going to learn the tactics in the next 7 sessions, and we select which tactic we're going to use based on our strategic mindset and our commit criteria. This isn't complex, folks. Once in the next session, Thursday night, you have a basic building block understanding of options. That's the aminos or whatever. Yeah, I'm not even going to go back to high school biology. So it's just simply the trade. Bull, put, spread, iron, condor, diagonal, etc. Step 5 in our trade plan is, how are we going to employ this? I picked the tactic. Now, how are we going to put this on? It's just how we set up the trade. the individual legs. And if you don't know what a leg is, you're going to come back Thursday, next Tuesday, and I'm going to talk you through this. But it's simply how we put the trade on, how we're going to employ it. Okay. Step 6, I never dropped a bomb in anger or got into a trade and just closed my eyes and said, I hope that hits bad guys, or I hope that trade makes money. There ain't no hope, which is weird. There ain't no hope in the military. No, we plan, folks. So if you noticed, we haven't even fired the trade yet. I'm doing all of this stuff before we even put any capital at risk. So I know what I'm going to do, how we're going to manage this trade before we even get into it. We contingency plan. In the brief today, we said, hey, what if MGM starts going against us? Well, if it does that, we're either going to adjust or we're going to eject, right? Eject means get out of the trade. So we talk about this all before we even place the trade. And hopefully you're sitting there, a lot of people going, man, I kind of know what I'm doing, but I've never had a trade plan. That's exactly right. Now, step 7, and we're wrapping up here, which is perfect, is the Colin Powell step. Love that. He should have been the first African-American president. Unfortunately, his wife wouldn't let him. She thought he was going to be assassinated. Anyway, why am I getting at that? Because when George Bush the first went to General Powell and said, hey, get Iraq out of Kuwait, and he said, yes, sir. Okay, great. No. Before you leave, Mr. President, what's our exit strategy? What is victory to us? Victory to us, we defined before we went into Desert Storm. It wasn't kick them out of Kuwait and go all the way to Baghdad. No. We kicked them out of Kuwait and said victory. So before you ever get into a trade, folks, you are going to know when we're going to declare victory and leave. No one has gone broke taking a profit. So before we get into a trade, we're going to know when we're going to close it. Discipline at the top of the slide, folks. And we're also going to know when we're going to get out of a trade if it's going against us. We don't want to suffer the max loss. I don't mind losing a little bit. I mind losing a lot of bit. Okay? So we do this before we ever get into a trade. All 7 steps. And again, you can see my chickens. I mean, that's my trade plan nowadays after doing this for 28 years. Robert, all the other members, the trade plans that are in the little handout section, those guys are great. Goose is dead. Not our Goose. Goose, what are you, Eagle guy, F-16 guy? There's a lot of former and current fighter pilots here who are making their own little nice trade plan checklist. Use all this stuff that these gentlemen are flying with you. Goose was an F-16 guy, so Goose didn't die. He's still alive, and he made that one trade plan that's in the chat box, and he's doing a fantastic job here at Top Gun Options, putting the ladder down as well and trying to help folks out. Okay, my apologies, man, for not finishing with right on time. I got 2 minutes left. Questions, concerns, smart remarks. Again, if you feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose, we haven't even started. But tonight, a little bit of admin issues, a little bit of where I look at stuff, and a lot of bit of the trade plan. That's a must, man. I'm telling you. If you start telling your friends like, hey, I'm learning how to trade options, and they're like, oh, I trade too, and ask them like, oh, cool, do you use a trade plan? And if you do, can I get a copy of it? I guarantee you they don't. So everything we just covered, folks, we're going to know what we're doing in a trade before we ever get into it, and it's so powerful. That takes the emotion out of trading. What's also going to take the emotion out of trading is hitting some hot yoga, hitting some meditation, and not trading angry, right? And being totally centered and having some good situational awareness about you, okay? All right, let me do a drive-by of the chat box here, see everything that's going on. Dutch, no apologies required. That was probably the best initial full throttle presentation you have done since I've been here. Great job. Thank you, man. Thank you, Michelle. Great stuff. Can't wait for the next session, Mark. I appreciate it. Tom, I missed the beginning. I've watched option trading before. Tom, I missed the beginning. I've watched options trading before, but my broker will not allow me to trade options. So, Tom, what you need to do is pick up the phone tomorrow. I don't know who your broker is, and call them and say, I'm trading options now, or I'm going through a formal training program. So I want level 2 or level 3 options approval. It'll take 3-4 days. You got to fill some paperwork out. They'll let you trade options. You just need to be directive. And Tom, if the answer is, well, we're not going to let you trade options, then you take your business and you go to E-Trade. So here's the link you need to go to, etrade.com, etrade.com/Top Gun. They'll open an account for you. And when you open your account at E-Trade, you do put down that you trade options and you know what you're doing, okay? Wink, 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 wink. Okay. Pitch your book, Wiz. Nah. Chris, hello, Wiz. I cannot imagine you in the power of now. Chris, you've been here for a while, and I've had a good journey, man. Chris, your name looks familiar. I can tell you've been here for a while. I am very grateful for the journey I've had, and couldn't be more happy. I'm actually grateful for the 155 people that are in this room. Very, very grateful. Welcome to the astral land. Oh, there you go. Namaste. Good, Tom. Go to E-Trade. Serge, sorry for joining late. When will this be posted to rewatch? I'm going to go recharge my glass, get something to eat. It usually takes about 30 to 45 minutes for the replay to render, and then I'm going to post it on the website. Perfect timing because my battery is starting to go. I've been on webinars all day. Here's where it's going to be posted. Excuse me, on the Full Throttle page right here. Excuse me. And you do have homework. The homework is to go watch previous Full Throttle sessions. Here's the link, okay? Todd, I just caught last part of how to view the sessions. Yeah, right here, guys. This is the full, when you go to the home, let me go to the home page. I got to talk quick because my battery's dying. Here's the home page. So you come over here to the right and hover over member content, and you click on Full Throttle. Okay, so Full Throttle is where you watch all this stuff. Thanks, Goose. I saw that. Goose did a great job in the Ready Room. So underneath Full Throttle over here, the Ready Room, Goose actually has a thread going to get in there right now. So if you got any questions before my headset dies and I don't answer it, right here, Full Throttle content questions. He's got a thread going, so jump in here and we can all kind of shoot the shit in there. Let me post this in the chat box as well. Thank you. I appreciate it. That did feel like a pretty good session. I think I know why. All right, so that I just put that link in the chat box, and also the this one. This is where all the one we're wrapping up right now will be posted here in about 45 minutes. Let me go get something to eat, man. I feel like I'm growing roots here. I escaped to Lifetime for a little bit, but my ass is killing me here. So I got to get going. Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Enjoyed this first one with a glass of Basil Hayden, getting ready for remaining sessions and preparing for the craziness to end 2020. Very well said, Larry. I appreciate that. Thanks, Robert. And on Thursday, can you make a copy of your handwritten trade plan and add it as a handout? I would love to see the genius work. And I don't know if you, if I'm going to show you mine, I'll do a tomorrow in the Accelerated Retirement Brief. I'm going to have to like make it look better than that. So, all right, guys, I got to get going. I'm starving. Have a great rest of your night. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge if you're in accelerated retirement. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow at noon. And I will see Nicole tomorrow at 09:45. Okay, have a great rest of your night, guys. God bless, and I'll see, if you're not going to Accelerated Retirement tomorrow at noon, I'll see you Thursday night at 7 o'clock. God bless, and I'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you.